Yo, what up, girl? Skate. These are my boys right here, the buddies. Been kicking it since 212s and a 12. You wanna tell my buddy? I got a buddy named Ray. Ray smokes weed every day. Every day. I got a buddy named Marley. Marley never sorry. Marley smoke weed all day. But he hardly ever pay. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody. No. And you can tell my buddies. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody. No. And you can tell my buddies. Saul smoke weed all day. Ay, 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 ay. He never pass it to Ray. He say I ain't never get paid. Ay, 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 ay. I got a buddy named Larry. Larry kinda scary. Ay, 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 ay. He smoke weed every day and he ain't never get paid. Ay, 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 ay. I got some buddies named Ray and Marty. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody. No. And you can tell my buddies. I got some buddies named Ray and Marty. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no. And you can tell my buddies. They made me to never tell my buddies that you fleety. I'm tired of being shaken at she lit all its waking beating. They made me to never tell my buddies that you baby. I'm tired of being shaken at she lit all its waking beating. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no. And you can tell my buddies. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no. And you can tell my buddies. Yo, what up, girl? Skate. These are my boys right here, the buddies. Been kicking it since 212s and a 12. You wanna tell my buddy? I got a buddy named Ray. Ray smokes weed every day. Every day. I got a buddy named Marley. Marley never sorry. Marley smoke weed all day. But he hardly ever pay. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no. And you can tell my buddies. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no. And you can tell my buddies. Saul smoke weed all day. Ay, 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 ay. He never pass it to Ray. He say I ain't never get paid. Ay, 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 ay. I got a buddy named Larry. Larry kinda scary. Ay, 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 ay. He smoke weed every day and he ain't never get paid. Ay, 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 ay. I got some buddies named Ray and Marty. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no. And you can tell my buddies. I got some buddies named Ray and Marty. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no. And you can tell my buddies. They made me to never tell my buddies that you fleety. I'm tired of being shaken at she lit all its waking beating. They made me to never tell my buddies that you baby. I'm tired of being shaken at she lit all its waking beating. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no. And you can can tell my buddies. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody no. And you can tell my buddies.
Yo, what up, girl? Skate. These are my boys right here, the buddies. Been kicking it since 212s and a 12. You wanna tell my buddy?
I got a buddy named Ray. Ray smokes weed every day. Every day. I got a buddy named Marley. Marley never sorry. Marley smoke weed all day. Money hardly ever pay. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody no.
And you can tell my buddies.
I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody no.
And you can tell my buddies.
Saul smoke weed all day. Ay, 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 ay. He never pass it to Ray. He say I ain't never get paid. Ay, 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 ay. I got a buddy named Larry. Larry kinda scary. Ay, 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 ay. He smoke weed every day and he ain't never get paid. Ay, 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 ay. I got some buddies named Ray and Marty. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody no.
And you can tell my buddies.
I got some buddies named Ray and Marty. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody no.
And you can tell my buddies.
They made me to never tell my buddies that you fleety. I'm tired of being shaken at she lit all its waking beat it. They made me to never tell my buddies that you baby. I'm tired of being shaken at she lit all its waking beat it. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody no. And you can tell my buddies. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody no. And you can tell my buddies.
I marked as cast.
We are live. We're alive, folks. How are you doing? Wasn't expecting so many people to join. How are you guys doing? All right, let's get a little music going here. So who do we have in the chat here?
Creamy, Segir.
We got Cameron.
Gamer God.
Cameron, what's up, man? I hope you're still cooking. Sajir. King Sajir. One of the greatest animators in Africa. Or Nigeria. Any updates when the new buddies is coming up? Yeah, that's what we're here to talk about. So I guess I can just jump right into it. I have a new episode that is probably about 75% done, but I've run into financial issues and I'm no longer able to work on it at the moment. I do want to jump back into it very soon. Maybe Sajir can animate it for me and then it'll be done. But it's probably about a 7-minute episode. So it's pretty long. And yeah, I've already spent probably at least 4 months on it. And I think here's the issue with Buddies. What I wanted to do with it was have it be kind of turn it into almost like a sitcom type of show, because then I could reuse assets and backgrounds and characters, and it would save a lot of time. The problem is that I realized that I haven't completely thrown that idea out. But for me, what I like about Buddies is that it's about adventure. And so I like them to go on new adventures every time. And so even when you watch the first episode and the Bigfoot one, you see that they are going out to the world and doing things. And that's the same thing with the episode I'm working on now, is they're actually leaving the country. So the challenge in that is every episode requires all new characters, all new backgrounds, all new everything. And so it just takes a long time to do that. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm kind of blind. Let me see.
Cameron says, yes, skills, I'm still cooking. And then he
Yeah.
also said, it's all good skills.
Yeah, and I have with me my lovely assistant who goes by the name of
Cast a Ghost.
Cast a Ghost. He also has a channel. You can feel free to do a plug at any point.
Oh, I have it in the description.
Okay.
I'm on top of that, skills. If you guys click the link to the title, it'll take you straight to my channel. I help skills out with a lot of background stuff, whenever needed.
You notice when I said maybe Sajir could animate it for me? We never got another a chat from Sajir. He just very quietly turned it off.
Now he replied, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Happy to help anytime. I know you are. But even Sajir knows, me and Sajir have worked on a lot of projects together, and he knows how much work it is. John Doe. Well, that makes one of us. Thank you. That's very nice of you.
I believe in you too, skills. You got
Yes,
this.
it has been a long time, Cam. Jared's very busy. He's actually a lead editor for a very big channel on YouTube called Unspeakable. So he's a busy guy. We still talk though. We still want to do some animations, but we'll see.
That's the thing everyone needs to remember, that animation takes time and money.
Oops, I hit my mic. Holy crap. Yeah, if you guys have any specific questions, feel free to ask. And if you don't have any specific questions, feel free not to ask. Oh, I do have a question, guys. How is my mic sound? Because I did a test earlier and it was hard to tell if what the levels were like. Does it sound too low? Too hot? I mean, you can never be too hot, but
I'm hot.
yeah. Let me see.
Cameron says you sound good. Karimi, it sounds good. John Doe, great.
Great.
You're great, skills.
I just step and do that?
Did you guys hear that? You guys hear Marley?
I just stepping duty.
I don't know if it's coming through.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's the question I have. So you guys tell me, I'm not going to tell you up front, and I think I'm going to do a poll on this, but tell me who your favorite character is in Buddies. And it doesn't even have to be one of the main characters, but I am curious who your main character is, or who your favorite character is in Buddies. I already know who mine is. So Creamy says my favorite is Marley. That's pretty cool. I'll tell you a story about Marley once everybody chimes in. Thanks, Sajir. King Sajir. Cameron said Ray. Don't everybody answer at once, okay? I know there's a lot of people here. It's hard for me to see the chat.
So Cameron says, I'll say Ray. Creamy says, Marley is my favorite, honestly. Creamy also said, also the one guy in the first Buddies thing, I forgot his name.
Okay, yeah. I don't remember if he had a name, but he's a funny character because originally, you know, he's Ray's marijuana dealer, which, you know, I'm pretty sure those guys are extinct now because it's legal in so many places. But yeah, originally he was a guy that just got killed in the beginning. And that's another issue I had is I killed off a lot of characters. I killed off the pimp, killed off the police officer, I killed off the drug dealer. But anyways, then later on when I was continuing the story, I'm like, wouldn't it be funny to bring the drug dealer back all messed up? And then he gets killed again. And I've actually thought about bringing him back even a third time. I do have a couple of ideas about bringing the pimp and the police officer back. But again, that goes back to what I was saying, how if this was done in like a regular show, like Family Guy doesn't put out an episode and then kill off a bunch of characters and then start all over again. You establish your characters and then they become, then you see them in every episode. Let me see.
John Doe said, do more stories with Bigfoot. Creamy again, the one who got shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely do more episodes with Bigfoot. The thing is, YouTube limits what I can make from ads because, so I have Bigfoot.
Dick anymore.
Yeah, and I have Bigfoot. I don't even know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube anymore. I should actually do these streams on Rumble because then we can talk like adults. But the R word. Marley got the R word from Bigfoot. I don't think YouTube probably appreciates that. So, yeah, I've thought about doing it where I do a version for YouTube and then a version for, like, I called it Rumble. Is that what it's called?
Maybe. You could do a Patreon version.
I might be calling it the wrong thing.
A Patreon. Well,
because honestly, when I'm not doing stuff for shock factor, I do what I think is funny. And unfortunately, YouTube is just very strict about stuff. And it really sucks if I spend 6 months in an episode and then YouTube says, oh, you don't qualify for AdSense or limited AdSense. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Okay, so I'll tell you guys who my favorite character is. Let's see if you can guess. I'll give you like 1 minute. You guys guess who you think my favorite character is. He is my favorite character so much that at one point I thought of making a show just about him, and or maybe him and one other character. Who do you guys think my favorite character is? It's crazy. So many people are saying Ray. I can tell you up front, Ray's my least favorite character, but probably because I don't know why. He just seems the most normal, and that was intentional. So the idea was, when I first did Buddies, was I wanted to create kind of this normal guy and surround him by a bunch of weird people. And it was almost like, so the audience could be looking at the story from the point of view of like a regular guy and dealing with all these weird people. So for that reason, he was kind of my least favorite. But let me see, what are you guys saying?
Cameron says Larry. Harley Pavey said, honestly love the show, man, more when I'm baked.
Dude, everything's better when you're baked.
Sajar says, guess Ray reminds me of myself.
It's not Sajar, it's Sajir.
Sajir.
And we call him King Sajir.
Here.
Yeah, so yeah, Cameron guessed it, Larry. I love Larry the most probably because I would say the biggest inspiration for Larry was one of my favorite characters, which you guys, I'm sure you're aware of, but the original Wizard of Oz, the Cowardly Lion. I love the Cowardly Lion, and I literally probably watch Wizard of Oz once a year just to watch him. I think he's hilarious. But I just, and also Larry was the one character that wasn't based on anybody in real life. So Ray was based on a real person. And obviously there's a lot of me and Ray. And Saul and Marley are based on real people. I changed their names. I won't say what their real names are, but it's very similar to the names they have. And the reason I thought they were funny was because they were cousins, and one was obviously overweight and one was very thin and skinny and tall. And the heavy one had like this really high pitched voice, you know? And then the tall one had this kind of deep voice. And the tall one basically worshiped the Marley character in real life. And I like that dynamic. So that was based off real people. Larry was completely made up. I don't know where he came from, but I love him. I love how he's like ambitious, but then he's always nervous and frantic and freaking out over stuff. But yeah, so Larry's my favorite. And I actually thought at one point of just making it like a Larry and Ray show to keep it simple, but I can't do that because I know you guys like the other characters. Thanks, Harley. Yeah, so Harley, I did speak on it briefly. Basically, I am probably about 75% through the next episode, and I've already spent 4 months on it, but I ran out of money, so I had to put it on pause. Hopefully I can get back to it soon. But it's a good one though. I feel like the first episode I did was, I didn't know what I was doing. I never animated before. I had experience in writing, but I never like animated on a computer or anything. So, yeah, basically, I feel like the new episodes are a lot better. So I'm working on the new episode now, or I had been, but I wrote 4 other episodes, and I'm very critical of my own work, but I love what I did with these 4 scripts that I've written. One of them in particular is just so good, and I would love to produce it. It's to the point where I'd almost want to share the scripts with you guys, just because I think they're so good and so funny. But hopefully I can get them all produced and animated over the next 20 years. But yeah, I've had a real influx of subscribers over the last year, which was really weird because people were telling me that they were like thanking YouTube for suggesting the video. So the channel was kind of dead. I had like my hardcore fans, but then like in the last year it blew up, and I went from like, I don't know, 6,000 subscribers to over 17,000. So, which is great, but I just really wish I could produce the content for you guys that I want to.
In the last 28 days, you had 691 plus subscribers.
Yeah, based off like a couple or a few videos.
68,000 views within the last 28 days, 4.6 thousand watch time hours.
That's so much, man. Yeah, the original idea when I first did this, so I wound up getting into animation as a career, which I'm pretty much done with now because of all the AI stuff. But yeah, originally I produced Buddies. The idea was to try to market it to a network, get it picked up. And I got a lot of interest and talked to a lot of people, but it just didn't work out. And now it's to a point where I would still be open to that, but it's really, I feel like the home for Buddies really would be like YouTube. Just because things have changed, when I first put that episode out, it was 2012. Things have changed so much now. If you have a good product, you can stream it on YouTube or wherever and, make a good living. But it's kind of like I told Cast the Ghost. It would be like if I made the greatest taco in the world and everybody loved it, and I sold it for $3 a taco and everybody bought it. But it cost me $100 to make the taco. So it's not a sustainable business model. So it's going to just be me slowly cranking these out, but I do appreciate you guys sticking around. It's funny that Sajir says Ray reminds him of himself. What about Ray reminds you of yourself, King Sajir? Oh yeah, no problem, Harley. Thank you. Is it Ircon?
Ircon Hayslet.
Okay, Sajir, I get it. Yeah. But yeah, if you guys have any specific questions about anything, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer. In the meantime, I'm going to smoke a little crack. I'm just kidding, YouTube.
Scales is just waiting for Amazon to let him get a deal, since they let you do anything in Amazon.
So that reminds me. So Buddies was actually on Amazon, and it did really well. And I was actually making some pretty decent money, and then they pulled it. So
try again.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot stricter.
Yet they allow Homelander in.
Yeah, but you know what though? It's you guys know how it goes. It's the elites, you know. You can be Nicki Minaj and put a video on YouTube and show nudity and everything's cool. I do that in buddies. Yeah, I get in trouble. So, man, I wish I could see this chat better. Let me see.
Cameron says, I know I ask about her all the time, but how's Kayla?
I think she's doing well. We're not together, so it's a long story. Don't want to get into it here. I'll tell you in private, Cameron. But yeah, didn't work out.
Cameron also asked, YouTube is getting more stricter. It's infuriating.
Yeah, it is infuriating. Skywalkers versus the Drywalkers. Yep.
And then if you guys notice, there will be a handful of buddies clips coming out. They do great on views. It kind of helps boost the channel up. The more likes, the more views that help the channel out, and more subscribers can also help get skills to be able to produce more content. If you guys can share it, it's much appreciated.
Baliak, what does alert mean?
Yes, lure, planet of Omicron Persei 8.
Are you guys okay if I pick my nose and eat it on stream? It helps me relax. Chasing dragon clouds versus pollution clouds. I'm not sure what you mean, but I kind of think I know. Oh, okay. Greens. Let me see, is there anything I can share with you guys that I haven't already shared that won't get me kicked off? You know what? I probably should have put this in the Discord. We got like 40 people over there. They may have wanted to join.
No, I already did.
Okay. You're already on it.
Yeah.
Let me know if I go out of focus too. Sometimes this mic, the camera, will focus on the mic instead of me. And then you get a blurry me. Share some buds. Some like me are out. How are you out? There, you can get stuff everywhere. Where do you live? I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Ircon, where do you live? Are you in a state that's legal or no? Right now, currently, I'm in North Dakota. So I lived in Vegas and I left in 2014. And as soon as I left, everything became legal. And then I moved here and it's not. Now I can get a medical card if I wanted to, but I'm able to get stuff online. I mean, I can get stuff, but I'm pretty much doing edibles now. So, which is kind of weird because my entire life, edibles were like the worst thing to do for me. And I hear a lot of people say this, even like Seth Rogen, who obviously smokes a lot. He doesn't like edibles. And for me, edibles were always like way too unpredictable, intense. And fast forward now and I'm doing edibles. Very, very light amount, but I've kind of found the amount that works for me. Oh, Harley's in the UK. That's cool, man. 2:41 a.m. Damn. Thanks for staying up, dude. Appreciate that. Harley, when did you first discover buddies? And please tell me you're sharing it with everyone in the UK, because the UK is like the one place I've always wanted to visit. When I was in 4th or 5th grade, we had to do a project where basically we would build like a little, I don't know, like a little set, a display of a place that we always wanted to visit. And mine was for London. And yeah, I've always wanted to visit the UK.
You got about 5.1% viewers from the United Kingdom. You got 6% from South Africa, 4% from the Philippines, and 4% from Kenya.
Kenya loves buddies, man. Hey, I should have the buddies go to Africa at some point. That'd be really funny. Could have a storyline with Larry. He convinces them to go there to like find diamonds or something.
Frickin' Marley turns around, a giant mosquitoes on his back.
Yeah, so Larry is basically a combination of the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz and Ralph Cramden from The Honeymooners. You guys may not have ever heard of that show. It's my favorite sitcom, by the way. Came out in, I think, the 50s. And I think there's only one season. But yeah, if you ever want to get high and watch something funny, watch The Honeymooners. Ralph Cramden is so funny to me. And the part of Larry that is like Ralph Cramden is Ralph Cramden was always looking for that get rich quick scheme. And that's kind of Larry. Larry's always looking for that, you know, this way of like making a bunch of money really quick. So let me see. I first saw Buddies. Can you read that for me? Can't see it.
Harley Paver said, I first saw Buddies on my YouTube maybe 1 month ago and been hooked since. I choose Buddies over Family Guy any day. Haha. The UK has been going to shit. I can't lie about many great places and great smoke spots.
Yeah, I've heard that, Harley. My dream would be to go to the UK like in 2003. The whole world has changed. I mean, once, you know, the iPhones came out and social media, people are losing their minds. I'd like to go back to a simpler time. Well, I mean, I'd love to go to the UK in the 80s. But thank you for the compliment. And I'm actually a huge fan of Seth MacFarlane. I wasn't at first. So, when Family Guy first came out, you know, I was already into South Park. Loved Beavis and Butthead. Adult Swim stuff. Huge inspiration. But yeah, I didn't like Family Guy at all when it first came out. And I wasn't in the minority because so if you guys don't know, Family Guy basically, Seth MacFarlane got some financiers and they put out a first season and they wanted to compete with The Simpsons, and they wound up doing 3 seasons and the numbers were so bad that they finally had to pull it off the air. And then it was basically like a dud. And so Adult Swim was smaller and they said, hey, we'll take the Family Guy episodes and just throw them on here. And it got super popular on Adult Swim. And then they released those seasons on DVD. And I think those DVDs like broke a record. Like you guys can check, but I think it was like the highest selling DVDs of all time. And then Fox like picked it back up and the rest is history. But kind of goes to show that sometimes things can come out and like people just aren't ready for it and it, you know, just doesn't work. And then later on, I mean, it's happened with movies have come out and bombed and then later on become classics. But, you know, I have a lot of respect for Family Guy now. And, you you know, Seth MacFarlane is an incredibly hardworking, incredibly talented guy. But yeah, I think Buddies is better. I agree with you. Spartan or Cast a Ghost.
Yes.
Anything else? I'm blind, so it's hard for me to read these.
John Doe said, honeymoon is already known. You do my age out there. Ha ha ha. And then Harley, but definitely come and check it out, dude. Buddies over Family Guy every time. Robot Chicken is the Adult Swim. Family Guy is always up and down. That's not even a Coke or Pepsi challenge. Well, think about the things they didn't take it well, and 2 years later, it came out shooting stars. Then a new person in Death Saw. Love all the Adult Swim shows growing up.
Yeah, I did too. Adult Swim was like, it was probably around 2000, 2001. Me and my brother started watching it. So my brother smoked. I had never smoked before. I actually have a story about the first time I ever smoked. I don't know if I can tell it on here or not. But yeah, me and my brother lived together and we were delivering pizza at Pizza Hut. That's kind of why I made Ray a pizza delivery driver. But yeah, I came home one day and he's like, hey, let's smoke. I want to show you this cartoon or a couple cartoons. And we watched, he showed me Space Ghost, Brack, C-Lab, and what was the other one? Can't remember. But I was dying. And I remember after that was actually the real inspiration where I thought I would love to make cartoons like this because they're very crude, but I loved the fact that they were crude and they were so funny to me. So that definitely planted the seed, the Adult Swim stuff. Took another 10 years for me to do anything with it, but yeah. Harvey Birdman was another one, yes. But dude, so I love Space Ghost. All the characters in that were hilarious to me. And I loved, do you guys remember, it was C-Lab, what's his name? Captain Murphy, right? It's been a long time. I love that character. He actually passed away. But remember the one with him and the scorpion, Ben? I've watched that episode like a million times. To me, it's like a masterpiece. I know it's like silly and dumb, but that is so funny to me. The head. Do I remember the head? With the alien in it. No, I don't. Give me more details. I do remember on Brack where Brack had a staring contest with his dad. That was really funny.
Harley asked, if you can't answer here, that's okay, but can I ask what is your favorite strain is?
I actually was thinking the other day, I'm like, somebody's probably going to ask me that, and I have no idea how to answer because there's just so many things. But so I do have a pretty big problem with getting paranoid. So I try to stick with stuff that doesn't make that happen. I can't tell you guys how many times I've smoked something and knew for sure I was going to die. So I think that I'm guessing, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what would be the best. What's your favorite strain? Actually, Spartan, I'm going to jump out real quick for a second. Got to take a leak, guys. I'll be back better than ever. I don't know if I go to the intermission screen.
You can either leave it
We'll,
as
we'll be right
is
back,
or-
guys. Right back.
My alarm clock say get the fuck up. My pocket say go get this money. My bitch smash, shut the fuck up. Ain't like nobody gon' get it from me. That's a chance that I gotta take from a chance that I had to make. It's my chance, I cannot be late. It's my chance, the yours gotta wait. A chance that I gotta take. Put it on the line and everything is stake. Life ain't sweet, no chocolate cake. That's why I wake up and I bake. Then I bang. What you think? Wake up in the morning, I drink. Don't discuss what you think. I don't care. I just gold all of my chain, gold all of my ring, gold all of my watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Nigga, don't believe me, just watch. Please believe it or not, I'm on your bitch. See all of my cock, my phone keep ringing. I told the bitch stop, the block is hot. That's why I move. Too many niggas won't swim in that pool. Too many children, they sit in the beat. Look like Mr. T, but don't pity the fool. With this gold all of my chain, gold all of my watch. I pray to God my time never stop. Always on deck, I work round the clock. Nigga, my alarm clock say get the fuck up. My pocket say go get this money. My bitch smash, shut the fuck up. Ain't like nobody gon' get it from me. That's a chance that I gotta take from a chance that I had to make. It's my chance, I cannot be late. It's my chance, the yours gotta wait. A chance that I gotta take. Put it on the line and everything is stake. Life ain't sweet, no chocolate cake. That's why I wake up and I bang. Then I bang. What you think? Wake up in the morning, I drink. Don't discuss what you think. I don't care. I just gold all of my mind, gold all of my wine. I'm wasting most of the time. Wake naked next to your dime. Whole team winning. Well, not really, cause the nigga not finished. Everything fine, even my bitches. Hanging up the line, you ain't talking about business. What's bang? Show me love, cause you ain't got too many niggas like us. If you ain't in the bitch celebrating on the win, get your motherfucking ass at the club. Pop 'em out and she sweating, now she betting. She can eat all of that D. Woke up in the morning, looking through my phone like these niggas delete all of that shit.
All right. We are back. We're live broadcasting from lovely Bismarck, North Dakota, across the entire globe. All right, Spartan, what did I miss?
Just me spamming the chat with stuff.
Is there any questions?
Harley replied, "The strain green crack had me lacking out, and I know the horrible feeling of I'm going to die. But my favorite strain has to be OG blue cheese, but no one I know has had that in for years. LOL."
So I'll tell the story about the first time I ever smoked. And it was hands down the worst D experience in my life. I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube. So there was this girl that I liked. She liked me. I worked with her. I told this on the Discord. So anyways, one day at work, she was like, I was telling her about this book I was reading. I wanted to share with her. She's like, "Hey, why don't you come over after work to my friend's house? We're gonna smoke." And I'd never smoked before, but I liked her. So I was like, "Yeah, sure, cool." I was in my 20s. So anyways, I went over there. We went into the backyard. There was probably like 8 of us. They had this really, really big blunt that they rolled. And we sat in a circle. Somebody lit it up, smoked, and they passed it around. So when it got to me, I didn't know how to smoke. So I just sucked on it, held it in my mouth, and then swallowed it. So I did this like 8 times. And I remember thinking in my mind, I don't believe this. I don't believe that I can just consume something and I'm all of a sudden going to feel different. Had zero experience with anything. And So we got up, went back in the house. I didn't feel anything. Now, obviously, it was all going into my stomach, and you guys know, if you consume it through your stomach, it takes longer to kick in. So we go back into the house, and I start reading a passage from this book to her. Probably a horrible way to try to get laid is reading a book to a girl. But I'm reading to her, and all of a sudden, the page, I swear to you, I kid you not, ripples. And I was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden, I was just overcome with like dread. Next thing I know, I'm in the bathroom on my back, praying to Jesus, knowing that I'm going to die. And yeah, it was horrible. And then 6 months later, my brother, who is a longtime smoker, he was like, he explained everything to me. And then with him one night, he just gave me a little bit of something, and it was awesome. And we went to, I think, Burger King, which I'm not even really a big Burger King fan. And I got a cheeseburger, and we're driving. And I just remember it was hands down the best cheeseburger I've ever had in my life. I was just blown away. It was like so good. And I kept telling him, I'm like, this cheeseburger is so good. I'm sure you guys, obviously know why it was so good. But so yeah, after that, I was like, okay, I just had a bad experience the first time. So I need to make sure I don't go overboard like I did the first time. But yeah, the first time, like I said, I was just swallowing it. And I think what happened was it was basically like an edible effect. And it was bad. Anyways, enough about me. Enough about my fascinating life. Spartan, or Cast a Ghost. I call him Spartan, but any other questions?
Ircon, when you're high, everything great, like Tony said. Then John Doe, yo, taste buzz was banging, that's it.
Yeah, I don't understand how people like Snoop and like Seth Rogen, for example, love that guy. He just had a new show called The Studio. You guys should check it out. It's really, really good. But I don't understand how he is high all the time and so productive. I can't do that.
Maybe he's like a high-functioning alcoholic.
No, I think it's just people's brain chemistry, body chemistry, whatever. But my favorite thing to do is play video games and smoke. Or
That's what are your thoughts on video games?
I love video games, but I don't play very many video games. The only video games I play are basically Halo. I play with a couple buddies and we smoke and play, and it's amazing. But yeah, it's like if you guys have seen Pineapple Express, at the beginning he says, weed makes everything better. It makes music better. It makes shitty movies better. It makes sex better. But yeah. I love playing Halo and getting HIGH.
So guys, I got Skills convinced I'm playing a game. If you ever heard of Scheduled One, is basically you're a weed dealer and can make different forms of strands of weed and whatnot. At some point we will be streaming that. If you guys want to check out Skills playing that, it would be a lot of fun for y'all to join.
Yeah, so he wants me to basically create the buddy characters within the game. I don't know anything about the game. If you guys do, you can let me know. But that may happen.
It will happen. I'll make sure it happens.
Yeah, Infinite gets a lot of hate. I get it in the sense that it is kind of I think Infinite is a really good game, but it kind of it doesn't have the same Halo feel as like 1, 2, and 3. And probably some of the others. I mean, my favorite Halo game is Halo 3 still.
Mine is 2.
2 is really good. 1, 2, and 3 are just great. And I've played 4 and 5. But I know a lot of people that really dislike Infinite. I don't, but I get some of their, some of the reasons why they don't like it.
I don't like the newer one where you're more of like third person free roaming raiding type stuff. It doesn't make any sense for a Halo. And then Harley, I have been thinking of joining the content creation community and dedicated a channel to bud and smoking, but so many people in the UK look down on weed smokers, to be honest, so I'm unsure on what to do.
Answer the man, Cass.
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, with all your wealth of experience.
So, you want me to answer that? I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you're not just reaching out to the UK, you're reaching out to a lot of people. A majority will be the UK, but if you put out a bunch of shorts, it'll reach out to a wider variety of people. As you can tell, the buddies have had a bunch of shorts put out. They're getting around 13,000 views each, and they're showing new people to the buddies. As well as, if you do that with your channel, do a bunch of shorts, live streams, and whatnot, and you will have to put it out how you put it out, but some people will look down on you, but just F the haters, really.
Yeah. Call of Duty is definitely something on my list. So I have 2 friends I play with. We play Halo every week. We constantly talk about Call of Duty. But let me ask you, Iracon, what would you say? So we play a bunch of different Halos, but we love 3. That's our favorite. Just something about it. What would you say would be the best Call of Duty? Would you say the newest one, or is there? I'm on a Xbox Series X. We all are. What would you say would be the best Call of Duty? Since we love Halo, what would be the best Call of Duty to jump in to fight against each other? I can't read the screen, Spartan. My glasses.
I'm trying to catch myself up. Call of Duty with a flat bunt. Harley, I think I should just take a chance and see how it goes. I guess no half is trying, I guess, towards the advice. John Doe says the original Call of Duty icon, or Earcon. If they combine the two, so combine Halo and Call of Duty.
So when you say the original Call of Duty, I mean, the original Call of Duty came out on the original Xbox console, right?
Yeah, my favorite Call of Duty was actually MW2, the Modern Warfare.
I got to make sure it's one that I can play on.
You can play a lot of stuff as long as you get the whole package. You can play basically every game. It just takes 20 years to download.
So MW2.
Have you ever played Modern Warfare 2?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Basically, you start the game with killing a bunch of people in an airport.
So,
and I'm not joking.
That's cool. But right now, I'm not looking so much for a campaign as much as a fun game for me and 2 of my friends to jump in on a map and just kill each other. That's what we like to do.
I would say do the new Black Ops. It's a lot easier with the online stuff.
Oh yeah, GTA is another one I want to play.
If you guys really want, I can get skills into a GTA roleplay, and you can play as the buddies in there.
That's what I want to do.
Oh, I'll get you in there. Someone also asked, have you played Schedule 1?
I don't know what that
game
is.
I brought up. So Schedule 1 is a weed game. Skills has not played it. I
Really?
have played it, and I am going to get Skills to play it.
Any GTA, Cam? I don't know. I don't know about it. That's
Have you ever
GTA's
played
always
GTA
been
1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah, it's always been one of those games where I'm like, that looks fun.
I'll get Skills into GTA 5 for the 5M roleplay.
What
Unless you want Skills to do story mode.
What advice, Harley? Or maybe he's talking to you.
Where? Also, thank you for that advice. Definitely appreciate. It's the advice about streaming and shorts and whatnot. Your lovely King skills. Any fighting games, the internet here is just starting to be decent enough to play shooters, but I mostly play EAFC, the soccer game, and Tekken 8. Yeah, I can't wait for GTA 6 too. Yeah,
so I like fighting games, but I'm more into like realistic fighting games. So I still play Fight Night Champion, which is really good. It's still a good game. They haven't made any new boxing games since Fight Night Champion. Now, they just came out with a new one like 6 months ago. I bought it, and then I got a refund because the game is broken. But I love boxing.
Yeah, you do. Cameron San Andreas has the game where Big Smoke is ordering food. You guys know what I'm talking about. Ircon says Schedule 1 is also a dispensary online. Best to me, Cali Buds. John Doe. They got Mortal Kombat 40th Anniversary, 123 3D Deception, and Armageddon is on 1 CD. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Duffman. Oh yeah.
So, why don't you guys tell me what made you laugh the hardest in a Buddies episode? Share with me a scene or a line. I'm curious. That's awesome, Harley. I also train as well. But I mean, I'm too old to fight, but I'm a boxing fanatic. I follow it every day. Boxing isn't what it used to be. Back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, it was amazing. But it's kind of become a different thing now. It's not a mainstream sport like it used to be. And you have like people like Jake Paul that are kind of, in a sense, taking over the mainstream aspect of it. And I don't hate Jake Paul. I actually respect him as far as, I always tell people when they clown on him, I'm like, this is a YouTuber. He didn't have an amateur background, and people criticize who he fights, but it's like, dude, he's a YouTuber. They got into boxing. Like, it's pretty impressive what he's done, and he's doing a lot of good things for the sport. But having said that, I do miss the good old days of boxing. Yeah, the Bigfoot running with the dangler. You know what's funny is I don't even know if I would attempt doing that now. When I first
OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans, Buddy's OnlyFans. When I first got on YouTube in 2011, 12 and did Buddies, it was a different place. It was basically you could kind of do whatever you wanted. And so I love that about it. Now it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that I'm actually surprised the stuff that I was able to get away with. And I'm very surprised that YouTube has been pushing my channel so much lately.
Until someone actually reviews it in person.
Yeah.
Training keeps you on the right track. I've learned it keeps you disciplined. By Harley, John Doe. Can't you create buddies? Meet the Simpsons and Family Guys. That would be cool. Or Rick and Morty.
I actually could do that, but again, it's the same. I could do all of this stuff, but you guys have to remember, it's just me. So an episode of South Park, I think it costs like $500,000. An episode of Family Guy is something like $1 million. Now, of course, that's inflated because it's Hollywood, but I think an episode of Family Guy takes like 6 months to a year. And you're probably thinking, well, how do they put out so many? Well, they have a bunch of teams working on stuff at the same time. So I have to write, voice, design, animate, edit, music. I have to do everything. And it just unfortunately takes a lot of time. But here's the thing. Hopefully, I was very much, like most artists and animators, I was very much against AI stuff. But there comes a point where you realize like it's here and it's taking over. So I'm hoping in the next maybe year or so, I could take advantage of that to produce buddies. It would be great to be able to have AI look at what I've done and say, this is the look of the show, the style, and be able to create episodes quicker. I would write my own episodes still, all of that, but just it would be good to take advantage of that because I mean that's where things are going, like it or not. And the thing that really scares me about AI is like the bigger picture. If you guys have seen Terminator, like that really is a concern that it gets to a point where it realizes like, oh, these people on this planet are the real problem. They're causing all the issues. So, it'll be very interesting to see where we're at in a couple of years. And especially like in another 10 years with the AI stuff, because we're gonna have to be very careful with it.
Aircon, when they all got caught in a vacant house owned by all of them. Harley, I don't know why YouTube can't allow people to post content they love creating and be more laid back. Policy maybe gives YouTube a mature rating, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, so think about it. We see the R-rated films in theaters or on TV. I've always felt that YouTube needs to make a YouTube adult. They have YouTube Kids. Make an adult version where any advertisers, so basically if you put stuff on YouTube on a regular basis and you're doing it full time, it's a lot of work, no matter what you're doing. And so you count on the AdSense money to pay the bills. So they have a YouTube Kids. They should really make a YouTube like adult or YouTube mature, where you can do basically whatever you want and you'll have access to advertisers that are comfortable advertising, during mature content. They don't really have that. So
YouTube After Dark.
Yeah, something. But that would be great. So we're going to jump off here probably in 10 minutes, guys. So thank you for joining. If you have any other questions. Oh, yeah, 1-800-9-WIENER. Yeah, I like that too. So I don't know how many of you guys know who that is? That was actually a real guy. So in the early 2000s, there was a guy named Chad Ween, and he had like these, I think, hair care products. And obviously, I mean, to me, obviously he was a gay guy, and he had all these infomercials, which I doubt that's a thing anymore, infomercials. But yeah, I just found him funny. And yeah, so I kind of did my own spin on Chad Ween, and I used the last name Ween. I was like, oh, Wiener. Yep, adult YouTube. Is anybody smoking right now? I know King Sajir is not. It's forbidden in his country. And the best thing you guys can do to help me create more buddies is share the videos. I know you hear that all the time, but it really is true. Now, obviously, you don't want to share it with somebody who doesn't care, but if you can think of anybody that might dig buddies, share it with them, because that is like the most important thing. The more eyes I can have on it, the better. But as things currently stand, I would need to basically get 1 million views per episode for me to do it full time. And even that would be tough, but I could pull that off. Because for 1 million views would probably be between $2,000 to $4,000, and then you got to take away taxes and everything. So it's still really, really tough. And I would have to do side hustles, but yeah, if it got those kind of views, which I think it could. I've always said that there is a huge market for marijuana-based content, and Hollywood still seems to be very, like, I'm personally blown away. So when I first created Buddies, I was thinking like, hey, I know there's a market for this. I actually like Googled how many people smoke marijuana in the United States, in the world, whatever. So I got the data, the numbers, and I was shocked that there wasn't, there wasn't like a dedicated like marijuana show or a lot of them. We've had movies, like I said, I love Pineapple Express, and of course we have Cheech and Chong, and there's others, but like nobody's like trying to cash in on that. And yeah, it's just, I don't get that. But the market's, it's wide open. There's like a huge gap. So if enough people know about Buddies, if you guys share it, then, if the views go up, the AdSense goes up, then that can definitely help me. Help me help you. Do you want to see more live streams? No. Okay. Okay. Get a few last questions here because I'm running out of steam. I'm getting tired. I can show you my guns. What do you think about that? That's all from smoking weed. High School with Snoop and Wiz. Was that a show? Have you heard of Pine Vinyl? I have heard of Pine Vinyl. Let me look that up. That sounds so familiar. I know I've heard of that.
Ghostfire is sorry he's late to the stream, but I'm here now.
Hey, Ghostfire, thanks for joining, man. We're about ready to wrap up. You can watch the replay, but let me know if you have any questions. Pine Vinyl, I know I've heard of that. Let me just type in my handy keyboard. Um,
Weed Moths are an animated show about two stoners who run a record store. Pretty funny.
yeah, I know. So was that on TV? Was that on TV or on the web? I know there's another guy. It's funny. Another guy created a show, a marijuana show on YouTube. I think it was, God, it might have been called Buddies. I don't know. Well, YouTube. Okay. Hey guys, hold on real quick because I need to give I know it's very, very unprofessional, but my neighbor needs my keys to my car that's breaking down because I'm going to have to start door dashing. So what I'll do is I'll leave so Cass can continue to talk to you, all right? Be right back.
You guys got any questions for me? I'm pretty good at answering questions, I think. Oh, looks like we got 9 people voted yes to have Skills do more live streams. It'd be more fun. You guys will see me a bit more. I do help Skills out. I am doing great. I've got a lot of work done around my house. Yeah. That is a secret. I don't like sharing my secrets. Skills knows the answer. My YouTube channel is at Cast the Ghost. If you actually click my name in the title, you can actually go to it. I stream video games and whatnot. I do GTA 5M roleplay. Trying to get Skills in it. I'm trying to get Skills to do Schedule 1. So he can play with I want to see Skills do a weed game. It'll be funny as all hell. What did I have for dinner? I had some Hispanic rice, which was loaded with pork and whatnot. It is a funny game, Ghostfire. I've played it. I just want Skills to play it now. I think that would be fun for him to stream it on Buddies for y'all to enjoy. Oh, that'd be neat. I'm not sure if it'll come. Actually, it might. There is a whole dealio with Xbox to do Steam setup with it. What is your go-to munchie snack? Mine is crisp, but I'm guessing chips from where you're from. That one's hard. Half the time I'm eating Cheez-Its, but I love Puff Cheetos.
All right, guys, guess who's back? Do you want more streams? No. 100% yes. You guys are very, very nice.
You got 9 people who said yes for you to do more streams.
That's very sweet of you guys. All right, we're going to wrap up. If you guys have any final questions, comments, anything. Yeah, so how, did he say how Pine Vinyls was? Was it good?
He said it was funny.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that you guys like Buddy so much. I personally feel that particularly the first episode, I guess I'm being overly critical. There's a lot of stuff I like about it, but I just feel like my writing has gotten so much better over the years. So I definitely can't wait for you to see the new one. But yeah, you live and learn. Also, One of my favorite cartoons. And it's like an exercise in minimalism. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If you're smoking, watch it. It's hilarious. It's called The Life and Times of Tim. It's so funny. It was an HBO series. So this guy made a pilot episode and he took it to a festival, an HBO festival, and they picked it up. And then they greenlit it for a series. But it's literally in Photoshop. It's just the guys are standing there and their mouth moves, and it's even more basic than like the original South Parks. Funny stuff. Check it out if you haven't. It smells fishy and where you're going to get AIDS.
Ghostfire said, my brother actually showed me the Pine Vinyl Buddies. After I showed him this one, I found it funny how there were two shows that had the same name.
Oh, he's talking about the other buddies?
Yeah. Pine Vinyl Buddies.
So I've actually had a conversation with that guy. He's really, really nice guy. His show is obviously very different than mine, and we didn't know of each other when we were creating our shows. But it's all good.
Harley said, stay safe, stay high, buddies. See you on the next one.
See you on the next one, Harley. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
Don't forget, guys, Skills does have a Discord if you want to join. You can harass him there as well as here. It's in the description below.
Yeah, so I think we're going to wrap it up. We may jump on again sometime in the near future. So I do appreciate you guys joining us. I appreciate my lovely assistant, Cass the Ghost, aka Spartan.
Now, Skills, if you want to do another stream again, would you want to do a chat with the people, or would you want to try to play a game?
Probably a chat, but we will get to the games eventually. I have to make some money, so
I'll buy the game for you. It's not a problem.
He will buy it for me, guys. That's how good of a friend he is. He will buy it for me. But yeah, gotta try to get back on my feet a little bit here. But we will definitely do that game. I want to create those characters, and then I can voice the characters, right?
Oh yeah, well,
I can do all their
your
voices.
You can pick one you want. So since your favorite's Larry, you can make Larry. Just be voicing him the whole time while playing.
Thank you, Death Saw. I swear Death Saw had a different name before. Or maybe it was a similar... Huh. Thank you, Ghost. In the next episode, double joke. Thanks, Cam. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up. Don't want to outdo my welcome. I think King Sajir has left the building, but he's here with us in spirit. So you guys, let me know if you can hear this.
I just step and do that. I just step and do that.
Yeah, I don't think they can hear that.
Yes, they can.
Oh, okay, cool. You guys ever heard of Eric the actor? I love Eric the actor.
Oh my.
All right, guys. Sajir's still here. I love you, dude. All right, we're going to wrap this up, and we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for joining, and stay healthy, stay happy, and stay high. The 3 H's, all right? So we'll see you guys on the next one, all right? Goodbye. And we'll end it.
Yo, what up, girl? Skate. These are my boys right here, the buddies. Been kicking it since 212s and a 12. You wanna tell my buddy?
I got a buddy named Ray. Ray smokes weed every day. Every day. I got a buddy named Marley. Marley never sorry. Marley smoke weed all day. But he hardly ever pay. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody. No.
And you can tell my buddies.
I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody. No.
And you can tell my buddies.
Saul smoke weed all day. Ay, 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 ay. He never pass it to Ray. He say I ain't never get paid. Ay, 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 ay. I got a buddy named Larry. Larry kinda scary. Ay, 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 ay. He smoke weed every day and he ain't never get paid. Ay, 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 ay. I got some buddies named Ray and Marty. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody. No.
And you can tell my buddies.
I got some buddies named Ray and Marty. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no.
And you can tell my buddies.
They me to never tell my buddies that you fleety. I'm tired of being shaken and chilling. All it's waking, bleeding. They made me to never tell my buddies that you baby. I'm tired of being shaken and chilling. All it's waking, baby. I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no.
And you can tell my buddies.
I got some buddies named Ray and Marley. We be blazing up like we at a party. And if you wanna join, then come on. We hardly ever tell nobody, no.
And you can tell my buddies.